But if you're meeting a girl on Tinder or something like that on a dating app, I've told you this before, you have 72 hours to meet in person. That's it. So if you match with we're going to be giving you a lesson on something that you guys have desperately been asking for, and that is how to keep a girl interested once you've set up the date, to make sure that she does not ghost you on the day of. And we're going to be going through all the different steps that you need to go through throughout that whole process, what you should do if it starts to feel like she's ghosting, and what to do if and when someone does inevitably ghost you. But we're going to help you prevent that as much as possible. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Now, if you did meet her on a dating app, and if she is a very chatty girl and she's just used to that, and she's one of these girls who's like, this is my coffee, blah blah blah, then fine, look, you can have more of an interaction with her. But generally with girls you meet in real life, I never ever get deep hard with texting. Always keep it light. There's just no need for it, and you got to think about it this way as well. The more you text, the more you try to like ask her questions and get involved, and you're texting too much every day, the more there's going to be no reason for her to meet you. If you're already talking about everything over text and you know everything about her, what's the fucking point of meeting you? The whole point of a date is to have a physical, face-to-face interaction where you get to joke around, get to know about her, get all this shit. Don't fucking do it over the texting between the date, because then she'll get bored. She'll be like, oh fuck, this guy seems so into me, he's texting me every day, do I really want to meet him? Is he going to propose to me on this date? Is he going to ask me to be his girlfriend, blah blah blah? Don't put yourself in that position. Be cool, be carefree, in, out, shake it all about, and then she will see you on that day.
Yeah. Generally speaking, this rule of just sending her something every 2 days applies if she's not messaging you first. If she's messaging you first, then you can answer her, but you don't have to, right? I've seen a lot of guys have this issue where a girl will message them and then they'll answer back with something like 2, 3, 4 messages back, and then the girl just won't read it for hours. And it's like, well, that's because you're too available, right? She messaged you and you answered right back with 4 messages. Okay, so now she knows you are so available and she's not, or at least she wants to come off that way.
Yeah.
And this is a dangerous thing, right? If a girl messages you first, you shouldn't be answering her back immediately unless you're already in a conversation, you're already talking, then you then you write back immediately. But if a girl messages me, I honestly don't even notice until hours later. Like, it's not that I'm ignoring them, it's just that I actually don't notice.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I think that you have to get to a point where you aren't eagerly awaiting her responses. You should never be eagerly awaiting her responses.
No, you should never be in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
You should be a man with options, as we teach you. Have options. You should be messaging other girls, of course. This is the same shit. We were always teaching you this. And you don't just have one option. You've got to be messaging other girls. Then you're going to text in more of a cool way, carefree way. You're not going to put all your investment on this one chick and overthink things and fuck things up and all this nonsense. Now, moving on, Jack.
Yeah.
I think now, should we discuss what to do if you feel like she's going to flake, or like she's not responding, or just what to do if she's ghosting you and then flaking?
Sure.
I guess they're two separate things, aren't they? Like,
sure. But before we get into that, real quick, I just want to make a fast point on the previous thing, which is this advice applies to if you meet a girl in person and then you set up a date for like a week later. That's perfectly fine. But if you're meeting a girl on Tinder or something like that on a dating app, I've told you this before, you have 72 hours to meet in person. That's it. So if you match with her on a Monday, you can't wait till the Saturday. You have to meet with her Thursday or sooner. That's it. So don't waste time. If you're meeting her on a dating app, the very first thing you want to do is you want to set up the in-person meeting as fast as possible. And that means maximum 72 hours. So you shouldn't even be having time to think about, should I be messaging her before the date or any of that shit. But yeah, now let's jump into this. So it's Saturday. my date with her is at 7 o'clock. 3 p.m. I sent her a message. I said, hey, meet me at June's bar out by the playground, 7 o'clock. Don't be late. Last one there has to do a chicken dance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But now it's 5 o'clock. She hasn't answered. She hasn't even read it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to sweat a little, right? I'm starting to sweat a little. I'm sitting here thinking, well, am I gonna just show up with my dick in my hand and flowers in another, right? Like, what's happening here? So what do I do in that case?
Well, yeah, it all depends. It all depends on how you've been texting her before. Have you been cool? Have you done what we said to do? Or did you get needy? Did you talk too much? Was she often ghosting you before or taking hours and hours to reply? You have to face this situation based on each one. Now, if you can admit to yourself, yeah, probably you fucked up, you've done it, well, that's on you. Don't call her. Don't fucking call her. Just leave
it's
move
over.
on, find another girl. But if she has been fun, if she has been responsive, then yeah, look, when it gets near to the time, yeah, call her, be bossy. Be bossy, because don't let a girl waste your time, because you need time to then set up a date with another girl, you know? Or maybe go out to the bar and find a new girl. Don't, sit around on your ass ruining your entire day because this girl's gonna flake on you.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. You definitely don't want to sit around just letting it get into your head, right? I'd say probably a couple of hours before the date, if she hasn't answered or anything yet, give her a call. Give her a call. And if she doesn't answer, forget her. Delete her number, move on. And I mean that literally, like actually delete her number. Or if she's on Instagram or whatever, delete her as a contact. Delete everything about her. Forget her. She doesn't exist. That's it. If she doesn't answer your call 2 hours before you're supposed to meet, she's gone.
Yeah.
Now, if that does happen, or actually, here's one for you. Quick story time. We're going to do the story time, half the story time, and then we're going to talk about what to do in this situation, and then I'm going to finish the story time. So, this happened years ago. I had a date set up with this girl to meet up out in Hongdae at like 7 p.m., right? Just like I'm saying. And 5 o'clock, I shot her a message. I was like, hey, I'm about to head out. I'll see you there, this spot. She says, okay, I'll be there. 7 o'clock comes, nothing. She's not there. I shoot her a message. You running late? Nothing. No answer. Doesn't read it. I give her a call. Nothing.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I've just been straight up stood up. So that's story time part 1. I'm going to tell you how it ends in a minute. What do we do, Rich?
What do we do?
What do we do?
After that?
Yeah, when that happens. When that happens, right?
You punish her and say the only way to see me again is you've got to do something special and rock up, right? Within a certain time frame and present to me something. I'm pretty sure I know how you might have dealt with this situation. I'm pretty sure I have a good idea.
Right. So I did exactly what I just told them to do, which is I deleted her entirely, right? So I deleted her number out of my phone and I forgot about her entirely. Immediately popped onto a dating app that was around back then. It was kind of like WeChat Look Around,
right,
where like you can see who's in the neighborhood, right? And so I just found some people in the neighborhood and met up with them and ended up hooking up with one of the friends that night.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so I still got what I was there for.
Yeah.
But then the next day I get a message from an unknown number and it just says like, hey, so sorry about yesterday. My mom was in the hospital. Like some clearly bullshit excuse.
Right.
Right? Because no matter what situation, you could always send that message that day, right?
Yeah.
So it was like a clear bullshit excuse. And I was like, I assume that this is you, right? And she's like, what do you mean you assume? And I was like, I deleted your number. You're dead to me. And she was like, no, like I really want to see you. I really want to see you. And I was like, no, you're done, right? That's it. That's it. If it's, especially if it's early on in a relationship, like a first date.
Was it the first date?
I think we'd banged it out like twice before.
Oh, right.
But this was the first time for us to like actually go out in public together, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so anyway, I was just like, no, you're done, right? And that's it. I never saw her again.
Okay.
And that's, honestly, guys, this sounds harsh, and it sounds like counterintuitive, right? Because now she's coming to me, and you can do what Rich said and say like, okay, well, listen, maybe I'll let you hang out if you will bring me beers, cook me dinner, and suck my dick, and then just leave, right? Like, okay, fine. Maybe you can punish her, do something like that. For me, I don't have time for it, right? And so I was just gone, out of it. And because of that, it never bothered me, right? Like, I never wasted any of my mental energy on worrying about her, or her bullshit, or her drama, or anything like that. If a girl does something like that, you know that this isn't the first time she's done something like this, and you know it's not going to be the last time. These are the kind of girls that are just full of excuses, full of drama. They're the kind of girls who show up 30 minutes late to work with the Starbucks in hand saying, oh, traffic was horrible. Like, fuck that girl. You don't need to deal with that bullshit. No.
I'd only deal with it if I hadn't fucked her before. I'd send a crazy ass text like, yeah, you have to come over, cook me dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
Suck my dick, blah, blah, blah. And then, look, I wouldn't continue anything with her, but I'd make her, you know, fucking punish her in that respect.
Yeah.
Fuck her really hard, choke her, and then never see her again. That would be a good way of dealing with it. But yeah, you don't need to do that. But if
it depends,
if it's on the table, like,
yeah, it depends on your style, and how much this kind of stuff bothers you. Because if you can do that kind of stuff and still not spend any of your mental energy on it, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're the kind of guy who's gonna get worried or upset or like thinking, oh, you know, is she gonna cancel again, or I don't know, how can I keep her interest? If you're like really neurotic, then the best thing for you to do is just to cut her out entirely so that you don't have to worry about it.
Definitely.
Well, I think that's mostly covered it then, hadn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, if she's ghosting you before the date, then, well, we've covered what to do with that in our options texting course, obviously. If it's not on, whatever, you can feel when a girl's just like really, really flaky and it's just not worth your time. You should always be moving on to other options, always messaging at least 5 girls at the same time or more, whatever, keeping all your options open. Then this shit won't bother you, and as Jack says, it's only going to bother you if you're neurotic, and also if it is your only option, or you're madly obsessed with her and you feel like, you know, you have to get this girl, I don't want to fuck up. You should never, if you've got options, you should never even be in that mindset. But I do understand it's hard to get that mindset, especially if you're in a very small town and you don't have many options, but you've still got to play it in the way you don't get attached, you don't get into that mindset where you know, she is your only thing. Like, there's a big world out there. Just when you catch yourself doing that and thinking that, just shout at yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, hit yourself on the ass and say, look, bro, you're doing the wrong thing here. You're getting needy. You're texting her too much. You always know when you're doing it deep down.
Yeah.
No matter how much you try to lie to yourself that I'm not doing it, and it's okay, she's going to like this text, or it shows I'm caring about her, that I'm asking her. But you know deep down it's a wrong thing to do. And whenever you feel that, you know, that inner niggling feeling that you shouldn't be doing this, fucking don't do it. Put the phone away.
Don't do it.
And do something else. Focus your attention on something else.
So I've already written an article about this, specifically about flakes, and like, because guys always ask about flakes. They're like, oh, well, you know, these girls, there's so many flaky girls and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. You already knew she was gonna flake. Like, deep down, you knew she was gonna flake, right? Because whenever you're messaging a girl and she doesn't answer you for like 6 hours, and it's in the middle of the daytime, it's like, you telling me that this bitch didn't look at her phone for 6 hours? That doesn't exist. That woman doesn't exist. I guarantee you. There's not a woman in this day and age who doesn't look at her phone for 6 straight hours. Unless she's asleep, and even then, I don't know, man. I've seen girls wake up in the middle of the night because their phone buzzes, and they'll wake up, answer a message, and then go right back to sleep. Like, I have serious doubts about any girl who says that they're not checking their phone at least once an hour. And so whenever she's not messaging you back for hours on end, whenever she's giving you little one-word responses and she's not that into it, you already know she's gonna flake. Listen, stop trying so hard. Stop putting your energy into these girls. Stop worrying about them. Stop checking. Seriously, stop checking your phone. You shouldn't ever know whether she's read your messages or not. Because, like I said earlier, unless you're in a direct happening right now conversation, then you should send a message and then you put your phone down and go off and do whatever it is that you were going to do anyway, right? Like, don't be a chick. Don't sit around just on your phone all day. Don't do that. Do stuff, and then you won't be so worried about her. Whenever you know these girls are going to flake, just go ahead and put them out of your mind.
Yeah, laugh it off. Laugh it off. Oh, look, it's another one. It's another one. Next one. In the place, in Korea where we are right now, it's very common culture for girls to just ghost you and never reply and block you. When I go on nights out, I'll get 10, 15 new contacts next day. Hit them up. I know most of them are just going to ghost or block and delete me. It's a weird culture. Very weird. Very weird where we are right now, but it's been a very good training ground because it just teaches you, okay, there's another one, gone. Oh, this one replied, great. That's why it doesn't matter when you've got so many options. Who fucking gives a shit?
My hunch is that these girls, they give out their number because they're actually interested in you right there at the moment. But then the next day they wake up and they're like, oh shit, I have a boyfriend, and that's a bad idea, isn't it? Right? But like they were willing to make the bad decision then, but now in the light of sobriety,
it's mental cheating.
And so they're just like, oh, block it. I don't want my boyfriend to see this stuff. Okay, and that's fine. Like you gotta let it ride and move on. You absolutely have to be willing to let any girl go at any time for any reason.
No matter how hot she is, no matter how much you thought, oh, you had a great chemistry, blah blah blah. If she cannot spare the fucking time to read your messages and get back to you, give you 1 ounce of respect, if she doesn't value you the same way you value her, if she is not at all invested in you, then fucking don't invest your time in this bitch.
Exactly.
Let her go. If she doesn't have any time for you, then why fucking waste your time on her? Why let her eat up your mind all day? Why even have this girl on your thoughts, fucking up your day, fucking up your mental space, filling your head? It's just not worth it to you. Hot girls are in abundance. Just find the next one.
Exactly.
Move on. Doesn't matter.
To paraphrase Pacino in the classic movie Heat, never get so invested in any girl that you're not willing to walk away from it in an instant. And so with that said, boys, I think that's going to wrap up our lesson on ghosting, how to avoid it, and what to do if it happens. So, until next time, gents, Papa Jack out.